What's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the MF Automotive YouTube channel. This is the 2022 MDX, Acura's 3-row luxury crossover, which the Japanese manufacturer has once again rejuvenated for the 2022 model year, giving it a complete overhaul both inside and out. So, what's new for this year? Let's find out. But before we do, I'd like to extend a special thank you to the awesome folks over at Maple Acura, located in Vaughan, Ontario, for kindly supplying the vehicle featured in today's review. If you are in the market for any new or used Acura, make sure to check them out. If they don't have what you're looking for, they'll be more than happy to source it for you. All their contact information can be found in the description box below. Now, back to the review. Under the hood, the new Acura MDX features a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 that produces 290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a new 10-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters behind the wheel for manual shifting. The selector is controlled by push buttons rather than a traditional shifter. It's a bit of a learning curve at first, but it becomes second nature once you get the hang of it. Acura's infamous super handling all-wheel drive system is also standard across the range, and receives some new changes also for this generation, like the ability to respond faster and send up to 70% of the engine's available torque to the rear axle. This helps with cornering and overall stability. The new MDX is available in 4 different trim levels, listing them from least to greatest goes something like this, starting with the base trim, moving on to the Tech, then the A-Spec, and Platinum. The vehicle you're looking at today is the A-Spec trim and is listed for a little over 66,000 Canadian dollars. The base model MDX starts at $58,000 here in Canada, and this example finished here is in a really nice shade of white. Acura refers to this color as Platinum White Pearl. Also, spoiler alert for those of you who didn't already know, the A-Spec trim is solely an appearance package and isn't in any way differentiated performance-wise from the rest of the MDX lineup. However, what you do get with the MDX A-Spec is as follows. Essentially, all the trim that would normally be chrome on base MDX models is all painted gloss black. We get LED fog lights, we get an ELS Studio 3D premium audio system, a flat bottom steering wheel, embossed pattern metal trim, ultra suede and leather trimmed seating surfaces, metal sport pedals and footrest, and ventilated front seats. However, for those of you who do cherish performance, a performance-oriented Type S MDX model is on the way and should go on sale sometime this spring. Anyway, with all that in mind, let's move on to the exterior styling, starting off with the front. The front end of the MDX, in traditional Acura fashion, at least for the new vehicles, is dominated by their corporate diamond pentagon grille, first derived by the Acura Precision concept car shown a few years back. The center houses the large Acura logo, which is a shield finished in gloss black rather than a physical logo, and upon closer inspection, this is where Acura houses the tech for its safety suite of features. This includes blind spot monitoring, active lane keep assist, lane departure warning, and front collision mitigation with automatic braking. These are just to name a few. The July headlights, complete with the chicane-style DRLs, are really distinct looking and feature a full LED layout with automated features built inside the headlight. Below the headlights are what appear to be active air vents, however, these are not actually functional. Still, they add some nice aggression and angularity to the front end. The 4 circles you see dotted along the front are for the park assist, and below that are the LED fog lights. You can also see that on normal MDX trims, the chrome pieces in the front are finished in chrome silver, while on this A-Spec, you can see the front surround for the grille is gloss black, along with the lower garnish below the LED fog lights. Moving along to the side, the first thing you notice are these large 20-inch wheels finished in shark gray. And while these wheels aren't specific to the A-Spec trim, the gray paint finish is. These wheels were wrapped around Bridgestone Alenza Sport all-season tires. The dark wheels contrast nicely with the rest of the gloss black trim, which is exclusive to the A-Spec. This includes the window surrounds, gloss black mirrors, and a black garnish on the lower part of the door. An A-Spec badge is also mounted on the fender, just to let others know that you opted for the special Sport Appearance package. Lastly, let's talk about the rear. The design language in the rear very much mimics the front, with thin taillights that are fully LED. This includes the turn signals, brake lights, and reverse lights. Upon closer inspection, the taillights also appear to have a floating element built inside the housing, which gives off a 3D-like appeal. It's small details like this that I absolutely adore. With all that in mind, let's talk about the interior, but first, check out this interesting graphic the vehicle plays in the gauge cluster upon entry. Pretty neat, huh? Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, the interior, very much like the exterior, has been subject to a complete overhaul. Acura has ditched the 2-screen layout in favor of a 12.3-inch widescreen display. We first saw this infotainment display on the new Acura RDX, but it finally trickled its way down to the larger MDX. It includes wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capabilities. The center stack may seem a little button heavy to some, but I personally prefer having physical buttons instead of everything being buried in the infotainment. The aforementioned button-controlled transmission makes a comeback for this generation. However, it's much better integrated within the center stack. Heated seats and the heated wheel is standard across the range. However, the A-Spec trim receives ventilated seats as well. The prominent silver knob above the transmission selector may seem like a volume knob initially, but it's actually a dial to switch between drive modes. We have 5 different modes to choose from. This includes normal, sport, comfort, snow, and individual. Each mode allows the vehicle to adjust itself accordingly to best cope with whatever drive mode is selected. A discrete rectangle beside the transmission selector reveals itself as a pop-up charging block with USB Type-C charging capabilities. There is also a regular USB. The interior is available in 2 different color combinations. This one here is finished off in black, but if you desire something a little flashier, a red interior can also be optioned if so desired. This A-Spec model's steering wheel is power tilt and telescoping with a flat bottom design and perforations found in the 9 and 3 grip positions. There's also red stitching found around the rim. Behind the steering wheel, we find a fully digital instrument cluster. The cluster is fully customizable based on whatever drive mode you have selected. Overall, the interior seems very nicely appointed and quite durable. The fit and finish is second to none, with no strange creaks, and most of the materials used are top-notch. The entire dashboard is covered in leather, with red accent stitching contrasting nicely with the black. The accent stitching also spreads to the door panels, where we find some aluminum accents, and below that we find the very nice metallic speaker grills for our ELS 3D audio system. We have automated windows for all 4 passengers and 3-person memory. The seats on this A-Spec mainly consist of leather with suede inserts found in the middle. These are also power operated for both driver and passenger and include lumbar support. Second row occupants are also appointed to the same creature comforts found in the front. We have the same leather/suede combination of seats, which are heated and offer some adjustability as well. Climate vents are also found in the back and situated between the front 2 seats. Second row occupants also get to enjoy the view of the open sky with the all-new panoramic sunroof, a first for the MDX. The seat in the middle is also removable, allowing you to configure the MDX as a 6-passenger crossover. This makes the cabin feel a little more airy and makes access to the third row a little easier. Speaking of the third row, getting back there is easier than you think. Acura has made it really simple with a one-touch hands-free operation. You just click this button found at the bottom of the seat, and the seat moves forward automatically along with the seat back. This method definitely beats fiddling with a clunky lever, and trust me, I've had my fair share of those. No heated seats in the third row, but there are HVAC vents. Space is also not too bad. It's not big enough for adults, but kids definitely won't mind being there for longer trips. The infotainment screen is not touch controlled, but rather commanded via a touchpad. And before you call it unintuitive, just hear me out. Acura has made it quite simple to navigate through their infotainment. Firstly, the graphics are really crisp, making for an enjoyable user experience. Secondly, the touchpad sort of mimics the touchscreen by following the same layout. Essentially, wherever you rest your finger on the touchpad is translated over in the display. It's kind of hard to explain in video, but I encourage you to go check it out in person. Also, a few shortcut keys are also found above the touchpad, along with a volume knob and a button to tune between your mixes. Behind the button we find an armrest when using the touchpad, and below that we find a wireless charging pad. Beside that we have some cup holders, and in front of that we have a sort of a storage cubby to store either your keys or some loose change. This MDX A-Spec also comes standard with a power tailgate that can be operated one of three ways. You can either use the button on the key fob or the button located on the back under the Acura logo. A third way to open the trunk is to simply kick your foot underneath the rear bumper, and this comes really handy in the event that your hands are full. Once the trunk is open, you can see we have quite a lot of space. The second row and third row of seats can be folded down to create a completely flat load floor. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for all future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.